Well, there's a look at Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher. And Army, earlier you took a look at this vehicle in hopes of shedding some new light on a very tightly guarded area in this sport of monster truck racing, the torque converter. Army?
Motorsports, there's a lot of secrets, as you well know, and the transmission innards, if you will, seem to be the spot that everybody holds closest to their chest. They don't want people to know what type of torque converter they're running in these vehicles. Now, you got to remember the torque converter is what takes the 1,800 horsepower from the engine and puts it to the rear tires to drive these vehicles. And a torque converter is normally only 8 inches long. That is this piece of equipment right here. Now, Neil Chance has teamed up with Gary Porter to make a 2-piece torque converter. What that does, it allows Porter, with his monster truck, to adjust the stall speed up for more RPM on the starting line or down for less RPM on the starting line to actually tune the truck to the track condition. That's why these 10,000-pound monster trucks are able now to actually do wheelies on the starting line, something only seen in the past in the drag racing sport, but now the monsters are literally leaping off the starting line. Back to you, Gary.
Yeah, and Army, speaking of wheelies, we want to go back a couple of weeks now to a run turned in by Andy Brass in Wildfoot. You talked about the ability of carrying a wheelie through the run. Now, this is Wildfoot, the newest in the Bob Chandler Bigfoot organization out of St. Louis, Missouri, and watch him carry the front wheels.
This is what I call a really wheelie. Watch it.
But it's the experience of Andy Brass. He knows he has to stay in the throttle because when that car, that truck noses over, he has to keep the throttle down because then the 4 wheels will pull him back out of it.
Exactly. You get a corner touching the ground, it'll get you going straight again.
All right, Andy Brass pulls alongside Gary Porter.
Both of these drivers are known as hard levers on the start line. It's going to be Chevrolet against Ford, Gary. What do you think?
Well, I tell you what, this Wildfoot truck is showing a lot in the early stages of competition, and it's all over for Gary Porter.
Yeah, but Porter, you know, being up front again. Wildfoot is the class of field today, but Porter had an electrical problem. His motor cut clean right before the second jump. I don't know if it's the moisture or what, but boy, when it went away quick.
As you indicated, this race could be won at the starting line. They are side by side right here over that first jump. Now, something happens to the Carolina Crusher. Let's go down trackside and find out.
Gary, I tell you what, it just seems like that you're snake bit as far as something electrical in this truck.
I know, I can't seem to get it figured out. It's, had me the last couple of days in qualifying and during the racing. So I got him off the line there, and I was pulling him a little bit there on the flat, and then my motor went away, and he just went on past me. There was nothing I could do. I don't know what the problem is on my part.
Well, we understand there could be a problem in Wildfoot. As we take a look at the Wildfoot teammate, that is Bigfoot. That is Gene Patterson. But we understand that there could be a problem in the Wildfoot Ford that just won that pairing with the Carolina Crusher. Let's go trackside once again. Here's Army.
Gary, as we're looking at Andy Brass, boy, this is something you don't see very often. They're taking him back into the pit area. Okay, look underneath the vehicle. He's punched a hole in the oil pan. You can see the oil coming out from the oil pan right now. So Andy's not going to stop and talk to us. They're not going to be able to come back. They have punched a hole in that big engine. Back to you, Gary.
Well, as that big Ford is towed back to the paddock area, we take a look at the executioner. This is Mark Hall. He is at the starting line, and he pulls alongside Gene Patterson in Bigfoot.
You know, Mark and his brother Tim could be one of the best-kept secrets in the sport. They're coming around. They're paying their dues right now, and they are getting closer and closer each week. Gene Patterson steps up into an already proven truck, so Hall has got nothing to lose. He'll lay everything on the line right here. No, not going to happen again.
He didn't lay anything on the line because the truck wasn't there for him.
Something went away big time there.
So an easy pass for Gene Patterson as he will advance, but obviously something mechanically wrong with the executioner.
Boy, that's a tough break.
And
believe me, Gary Lee, before this year's over, the Hall boys are going to be playing hardball with these guys.
Well, the executioner just got shot in the foot there at the starting line, so he'll go back to the trailer, and Bigfoot will advance.
Yeah, but he'll get the last swing of the axe before this year's over.
Well, let's go back to the track and talk to Gene Patterson.
Gene, it seems like more and more pressure keeps getting put on your shoulders.
Yeah, that's right, Army. A little rain here hurt us a little bit today, but we feel like the Firestones are hooking up real good. We got a good cut on these tires we've been working on for a couple of months now. We detuned the motor a little bit. We geared the truck down. We felt like this track wasn't going to take as much horsepower it has in the past. Seems like it's working for us. Put the Dodge on the trailer in the first round. We'll win another round. We're hanging out for the next one.
We are ready now for the final matchup in this second round. There is a look at David Morris in the Equalizer. He will pull alongside Wayne Smozanik's Tropical Thunder. Young David out of Springfield, Tennessee. A truck that's been around for a number of seasons, but seems to get faster every year. And here's a guy who is always spectacular. Win, lose, or draw. Wayne Smozanik out of Jupiter, Florida. His experiences in drag racing before he made the move to the monster trucks. Now, going back to round one competition, Paul Schaefer in the Monster Patrol was Wayne's opponent, but Schaefer wasn't able to make it to the line, so Wayne had this bye run to advance to round two.
We found out why Schaefer couldn't make the call. He lost the transmission back in there. They couldn't get to go in the forward gear, so Smozanik rolls over to the next round. That truck is not handling at all. You notice the bounce in it? That's not a good setting chassis right now.
Well, here is a good setting chassis. This is the Equalizer, David Morris. And Wayne has a problem right at the starting line. An easy pass for David Morris. He realized that Wayne Smozanik had trouble. Eased out the throttle.
Well, I don't know. Morris has got a burping sound with his engine. If I were here in a monster truck, I would not want to be lining up in that left lane. There's something spooky happening over there, Gary.
And there's a look at Gary Porter, who may have caught a break with Wildfoot going on the trailer despite his loss to Andy Brass. He may be in the semifinals. We'll have the Final Four from Lima when we come back.